Welcome, all of my fellow door openers. We are back for another, as always, amazing episode that I'm excited to be recording for you and being able to share with you. Today's episode is gonna once again take us out of the United States. We need to get out of here once in a while. It's okay to explore and see other parts of the world. So hopefully I'm able to take you on a journey to parts unknown currently. But first, let's get caught up on our weeks. What's been going on? What's been happening? Quick little update about our UFO situation. In an article by Newsweek posted on the 7th. I'm recording on the 9th today, by the way. This article is written on the 7th. Says, recovered UFO technology may be being reverse engineered right now, but we don't understand how it functions, according to a U.S. representative. Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett told Newsweek that he believed we have recovered a craft at some point, and possibly beings. Not beans. Beings. It's always a word I have an issue with. I think that a lot of that's being reverse engineered right now, but we just don't understand it, he continued. In early February, 4 objects were shot down over North America in quick succession. The first was identified by the Pentagon as a Chinese surveillance balloon and was shot down off the coast of South Carolina. China has stated it was a civilian airship collecting meteorological data. The Defense Department has not confirmed the nature of the remaining 3 objects, which were targeted by U.S. fighter jet missiles over Alaska, Canada, and Lake Huron, Michigan. On February 14th, the White House said intelligence officials were considering as a leading explanation that these could be tied to commercial or research entities and benign. President Biden added on February 16th that these 3 objects were most likely balloons tied to private companies, recreation, or research institutions studying weather or conducting other scientific research. My friends, this is nothing new to us. This is, we've been down this road before. We've been told just to say it's weather balloons and believe it's weather balloons and just go with that. They're not telling us something. I don't know what it is, but we're not being told something here. So, I don't know. We've got congressmen that are saying that it's we have part of a craft and it's being reverse engineered right now, and possibly even entities in the craft. But either way, so right now, as of the 7th, that was where we were at with the current UFO shooting downs, being shot down. Yeah. It's a crazy time to be alive. It's a fun time to be alive. This is it. This is where we're at. This is the stuff that keeps me wanting to do episodes and stuff like this. It's just more and more every day. We're getting a little more paranormal, a little more fun. But outside of that, I don't know if we've had nothing major I can think of off the top of my head. I've been very busy with work. Yeah, some big changes have happened at work. Today is my first day of my weekend, and I am so glad for that. I am glad to be here recording, glad to be having the day off, and just talking about things I love. Yeah. And what are those things I love? Cryptids. I love cryptids. I love aliens. I love UFOs. I love the paranormal. If you name it, I want to hear more about it. I want to hear about the things that aren't the norm. I mean, it's just fun. I have fun. I hope you have fun listening to these episodes. And exploring more with me. Like I said, we've been in the last episode. We had the Mongolian death worm. Brand new cryptid to me. Didn't know him before doing the research on it. So learn a little something new. But yeah, along with that, I did end up listening to the Mongolian death worm album. I was incorrect. It does have more than 5 songs on it. It is a full album. I just didn't click into it. It was showing me the top 5 songs for the album. Top 5 songs that are played off the album. But it is a fun band. Definitely metal. Got a little bit of screaming. Gives me a very 3 Inches of Blood feel. Which if you don't know 3 Inches of Blood, you should check them out. That was what a fun show I got to go to. That was probably one of the funnest shows I've gotten to go to at a smaller venue. But yeah, check them out. It's on Spotify. I'm sure it's multiple other places, but since Spotify, apparently Anchor is moving into Spotify, so I'll have to see how that works out for me. It was always a part of Spotify, but I think they might be moving away from the Anchor name. Either way, we'll see how that goes once I try and get this uploaded. So, what are we here for today? We are here to talk about a cryptid. I don't know if you could say it's a cryptid because you could say it's a cryptid. There's not scientific proof it exists, but there have been sightings. There's even a picture. And fun fact, so last week when we were doing last episode when I was doing the Mongolian death worm, I thought Sean Patrick had told me about that. And it was like, hey, this is something you should look into and check out. Turns out I was wrong. It is actually what we were talking about today that Sean Patrick had sent me I don't know if he sent me the article or if he just sent me a picture of the article. But let's get down to it. It's this might be a shorter episode. There's not a ton of information on this cryptid. But it does have its own fandom cryptids page, cryptids wiki fandom page. There are articles on it. Unfortunately, most of the articles are repetitive and tell me all the same things I already read in the last article, but let's go ahead and get into it. This episode, we are talking about the Giant Congo Snake. This cryptid is, which I know it's probably going to blow your mind, it's from the Democratic Republic of Congo. All right, let's do a little rundown on the history of the Giant Congo Snake. Come with me, if you will, on a journey with a reptilian horror. The year is 1959. We are flying in a helicopter over the Katanga region of the Belgian Congo. We look down, and there we see what we believe to be a 50-foot snake. On an episode of Arthur C. Clarke's mysterious world entitled Dragons, Dinosaurs, and Giant Snakes, Remy Van Leerd claims that in 1959 he encountered a giant snake in the Katanga region of the Belgian Congo while returning from a mission by helicopter. He claims to have then turned around and made several passes over the snake to allow another person on board to photograph the creature. Van Leerd claims that as he flew lower for a closer inspection, I believe he said he was like 25 to 30 feet above the snake. When he flew in closer, the snake rose up approximately 10 feet, giving the impression it would have attacked the helicopter if it had been within striking range. So, yeah, we've got Remy Van Leerd telling us, and we're like, who's this Remy Van Leerd? How can we trust what he's saying? Is he a trustworthy person? How does he know how big the snake is just by looking at it? Well, Colonel Remy Van Leerd, DFC in 2 bars, was born on August 14th in 1915. He was a Belgian pilot and a fighter ace who served in the aviation branch of the Belgian Army and the British Royal Air Force during the Second World War. Remy had shot down 6 enemy aircraft and 44 V-1 flying bombs. V-1 flying bombs, yes. I was wondering too, what is a V-1 flying bomb? So we look it up. The V-1 flying bomb, again, my enunciation of all languages is perfect, so if you're hearing this incorrectly, it must be something with your buffering or something's off, because I'm a multilingual linguist. I can just say linguist. It's not the point. Either way, German, it is called the Vergeltungswaffe, the vengeance weapon. It was an early cruise missile. Its official Reich Aviation Ministry designation was FI-103. It was also known to the Allies as the Buzz Bomb or the Doodle Bug, and in Germany as Kirschkern, which translates to cherry stone, or Maikäfer, which translates to Maybug. Remy achieved the RAF rank of squadron leader, returning to the Belgian Air Force in 1946. Van Leerd was made Deputy Chief of Staff to the Minister of Defense in 1954. In 1958, he became one of the first Belgians to break the sound barrier while test flying a Hawker Hunter at Dunsfold Aerodrome in England. He went on to hold several important commands before retiring in 1968 and passing away on June 8th, 1990. So we have Remy Van Leerd here, who is a decorated officer, a colonel, which is usually someone we can hold to a little higher regard and someone we can consider a more viable source of information. So Remy is out there. He's flying around the Congo. He looks down and sees what he believes to be a 50-foot snake. He's returning home from a mission, flies back around, takes a second look. Definitely a snake, definitely a very large snake. And we're saying, how does he know he's 50 foot? Because he is someone who has been flying for a very long time, has a general idea of knowing being able to measure things from that height, give approximate estimations of the height. Height, length, width, all the above, all the measurements. He was there doing it. So yeah, when he moves the helicopter in a little closer than 25, 30 feet range, this giant snake, rises up 10 feet, basketball hoop high, and gave the impression that it would have attacked the helicopter if it had been within striking range. So yeah, to me, that is a terrifying situation. To give a little more description on the appearance, says, like I said, close to 50 feet in length is what he believed. I've seen other documentaries I watched and other documentaries I watched and other articles I read were saying possibly more closely, looking at the picture, closer to 40 feet. Either way, this thing's huge, and I'll give you some comparison to like the largest snakes we have right now that are largest documented snakes. But it was 50 foot in length with a 2 foot wide by 3 foot long triangular head. Look at that. It's 2 foot wide by 3 foot long triangular head, which, if his estimations were accurate, would earn the creature a place among the largest snakes to have ever existed. Colonel Van Leerd described the snake as having very dark green and brown top scales and a whitish colored underside. Speaking of snakes that have been large that have ever existed, comes the Titanoboa, which was supposed to be the largest snake that ever existed. It was also the top predator when it was alive. So, Titanoboa is an extinct snake that lived during the Paleocene epoch, which was about 66 million to 56 million years ago. It is considered to be the largest known member of the suborder Serpentes. Titanoboa is also known from several fossils that have been dated to 58 million to 60 million years ago from extrapolations of body size made from excavated vertebrae, which are individual sections of the backbone, which they believed that the Titanoboa had more than 250 vertebrae. Paleontologists have estimated that the body length of the average adult Titanoboa was roughly 13 meters or 42.7 feet, and the average weight about 1,135 kilograms or 1.25 tons. And 1.25 tons. This thing is ginormous. Like, one of the videos I was watching said it could have easily wrapped itself around the waist of a blue whale. And they mainly hung out in the water. Titanoboa is related to living anacondas and boas, but it is uncertain whether it was more closely related to one or another of these modern constrictor snakes. So, Titanoboa was first described in 2009, some 5 years after it was excavated from rocks exposed at the Cerrejón coal mine in Colombia, which lies to the west of the mouth of Lake Maracaibo. The remains of approximately 30 individuals have been recovered. The majority are adults, but some juveniles have been found. Most specimens are made up of vertebrae and ribs, which is typical of snake fossils. At least one nearly complete specimen with a skull has been recovered. The presence of such a large number of individuals displaying the same gigantic proportions demonstrates that 13-meter lengths were probably the norm for adults of the species. By comparison, adult anacondas average about 21.3 feet in length, whereas record-breaking anacondas are about 29.5 feet long. No living snake has ever been found with a verified length in excess of 9.6 meters, about 31.5 feet. So no living snake. The snake's enormous size is thought to be closely tied to the climate of the Paleocene. Snakes, similar to other chilotherm, cold-blooded animals, have metabolic rates that are influenced by the temperature of the ambient environment. To maintain normal growth, snakes must have the proper amount of warmth. A snake would need an exceptionally warm environment, such as the one that characterized the Paleocene, to grow as large as Titanoboa. So if you look at a world map and look at the latitude of the Congo and the latitude of Colombia, where these were both found, they're not too far apart, which means both spots do have the ability for, at least the proper climate for growing large snakes. A little bit about the Congo. The Democratic Republic of Congo, about the size of Western Europe, is the largest country in sub-Saharan Africa. DRC is endowed with exceptional natural resources, including minerals such as cobalt and copper, hydropower potential, significant arable land, immense biodiversity, and the world's second largest rainforest. Rainforests are a good spot for giant snakes. Most people in DRC have not benefited from this wealth. A long history of conflict, political upheaval, and instability, and authoritarian rule have led to a grave, ongoing humanitarian crisis. In addition, there has been forced displacement of populations. These features have not changed significantly since the end of the Congo Wars in 2003. DRC is among the 5 poorest nations in the world. In 2021, nearly 64% of Congolese, just under 60 million people, lived on less than $2.15 a day. About 1 out of 6 people living in extreme poverty in sub-Saharan Africa live in the DRC. There are a couple of national parks in the Congo. You can go if you want to see some wildlife. The Virunga National Park, Garamba National Park, Some of the animals you'll see at these parks are elephants, buffalo, antelopes, hyenas, hippos, lions, warthogs, baboons, leopards, peafowls, and unique types of monkeys and birds. The most dangerous animals in the Democratic Republic of Congo today are the hippopotamus. I love the hippos. They're just... Have you ever watched a video of a hippo going off? Like, just, they look vicious and scary, and despite that they are an herbivore, they could easily kill a person. It is big, aggressive, and quick, both in and out of the water. There's also the Nile crocodile, the puff adder. Which, speaking of snakes, these dangerous snakes live around the north and east fringe of the Congo. Due to their camouflage colors, wide distribution, and toxic venom, it is estimated that the puff adder is responsible for more bites than any other snake in Africa. There is always the danger of someone accidentally stepping on them as they lie in the dirt. And also our favorite, the black mamba. Named for its inky black mouth, the black mamba is one of the largest and deadliest snakes in all of Africa. The potent mixture of neurotoxins will directly attack the nervous system. The death rate is quite high in untreated cases. All right. We might as well. Let's just do a quick rundown of the endangered animals in the Republic of Congo. The northern white rhinoceros, the eastern gorilla, the chimpanzee, the bonobo, the dryas monkey, and the African elephant. So there's your rundown. Like I said, there's not a ton of information on the giant Congo snake from 1959. We have the picture. We have Remy's deposition. But yeah, as far as like a solid explanation, it's just not there. Like that was so the thought was that the only reason I brought up the titanoboa was the possibility that maybe this is a titanoboa. Maybe this is you wouldn't think so, being as large as they are. Maybe this is they are still around. But yeah, they didn't find proof of the titanoboa till I think it was like 2009. So I mean, it's relatively recent. This could be just an entirely different species of snake altogether, one that we haven't discovered yet. Who knows if it's still around? 1959, that was a while ago. There was also, I saw a video on the Yakumama, which is roughly translates to the mother of the water, controller of the river. It was found in Peru. Well, it wasn't found in Peru. There are multiple sightings and deaths that are attributed to the Yakumama. One of the eyewitnesses said it is 50 meters long, and its head alone is a meter across. So maybe it's a baby Yakumama. But no, that's the thing. We've got all these large snakes, but they're all showing up in Peru mainly. And so seeing this in the Congo is unique. It's definitely not the norm. Well, I mean, obviously, it's a 50-foot snake. It's not the norm anywhere. But yeah, like I said, this is probably going to be a short episode just because there is not a lot of information on it. But those are some possible explanations. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the giant Congo snake? Do you believe Remy? Do you believe the photos aren't doctored? And that's the thing. They've been looked over, and as far as I haven't heard anywhere where people are trying to say that the photos are fake. Outside of maybe Reddit, where people are just trolling. But either way, that's a big snake. That's all I can say. And I could totally see this being a real thing. This is one that, like I said, we just found out about the Titanoboa 2009 era. So there's fresh things popping up all the time. There is new species, new everything. Science is constantly growing and letting us know more and more about what's out there. Let me know your thoughts. I am, like I said, I'm a believer. I believe Remy. Remy, if you watch the interview, you can watch on, there are episodes of AC, what is it? Let's look it up here. If you look up either Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World or A.C. Clarke's Mysterious World, it will pop up. The episode was called Dragons, Dinosaurs, and Giant Snakes. It's on YouTube. There's a couple other episodes. I want to watch them. They're fun to watch. So look it up. See what you think. You think Remy's telling the truth? Like I said, I'm inclined to believe that this was a thing. This was an actual snake that he saw, and he flew over a couple times. He saw it actually rear up and go 10 feet in the air. That's a big snake. And I was watching a video comparing the python, their vertebrae to the titanoboa, which was found. And it's crazy how big they are. It doesn't look like it's coming from the same animal, which is what some of the original people that were analyzing it didn't think it was a snake's vertebrae because of how large it was at first. But yeah, giant snake. I'm good with staying out of the Congo. Either way, thank you for checking it out. Thanks for listening. Hope I gave you a nice new cryptid to think about for a while. I will be, as always, please check out the socials. Please follow, subscribe. Yeah, I'm just going to keep putting them out. If you have something you want to hear me talk about, something you want to hear me explore, send me ideas. I love having ideas. I've got a decent amount right now of episodes that I'm going to be researching, but I am always down to looking more into other things. And it doesn't have to be cryptids. It can be, I don't know, it could just be weird stuff. What's going on? The last episode I think we did of We Don't Talk Politics was on the most haunted place in London, or no, most haunted place in England, I think. Not positive. It's been a while since we recorded that episode. But either way, yeah, but go ahead and check out the socials at Linktree /DOTU podcast. linktr.ee/DOTU podcast. All the socials are on there, everywhere you can reach me. Reach out, send an email, leave a voicemail. I love hearing people's thoughts on episodes I do. Yeah, that's all I've got. I told you, it's a short one. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. So I guess what I could say is keep an eye to the sky. And if you happen to be the eye in the sky and you're looking down and you see a 50-foot snake, snap a couple photos. We need just a couple. Maybe zoom in a little bit too if you could. But otherwise, other than that, I'll see y'all next episode. Thanks for listening.